Well, good afternoon, and welcome to the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of FightbackMedia.com, FightbackMedia.com, and FightbackMediaTV.com. I trust that you are well this wonderful Tuesday. It is overcast, but it's not too cold here in West Central Florida today. My skin is dry, crackling like an old man. Anyway, I got to get some Vaseline and tins of care on myself. All the stuff that we have to worry about now. Sort of going back to when we were, in diapers. The joke is that we start in diapers and end in diapers, right? But in any case, yesterday was the Iowa caucuses. Now, the difference between the Iowa caucuses and a primary like we have here in Florida is that only really the people who are involved in the party, who go to different sites, participate in the caucuses. And the delegates are dished out. That's kind of how it works, as opposed to places that have primaries, and of course very different from places that have open primaries, which I'm not even sure why they do that. I don't get why they do that at all. And Donald Trump won the Iowa caucuses. Now, in 2016, Ted Cruz won the Iowa caucuses, and as we know, Ted Cruz never served as president of the United States. And in 2020, it's true, Donald Trump won the Iowa caucuses. I did not get to be president. So this idea of the importance of Iowa, especially in the last 3 iterations, I really wonder why the importance, other than it's first, and they sort of fight to be first, to get attention, I guess, because the next one is New Hampshire. New Hampshire is just a little bit bigger than the neighborhood I live in, so I'm really not sure why that matters either. I'm not sure why anything matters until you get to a fairly large and reasonably diverse state, or a number of them together, like on Super Tuesday. I just don't know, except that it's a media thing. It's the first time people are actually voting, and we're excited because of the thing, not that the thing has any significance. But that being said, Donald Trump managed to garner 20 delegates, and those 20 delegates will go to the Republican National Convention, and they are at least promised to vote for Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention. Now, will they? I don't know. Ron DeSantis garnered 9 delegates. Nikki Haley garnered 8, and Vivek Ramaswamy garnered 3. But he has suspended his campaign. They say that so when convention time comes around, they can still, have delegates on the floor. And it doesn't necessarily mean he's quit, or it doesn't necessarily mean that Chris Christie has quit. My guess is that Nikki Haley will be next. It's so funny. She gets afterwards, she says that Iowa has made this a 2-person race. She came in 3rd. I guess it has. I guess it was always going to be a two-person race with Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. I personally, you guys know it, and I don't make any bones about it, because I think that it is perfectly okay. It is absolutely perfectly okay to have, a challenge. Now, I'm going to say something here on this video in a little bit that's going to really, really piss off some of my Trump supporters. Now, I don't have any problem with Trump supporters. I don't. Except that it kind of reminds me of Red Sox fans and Patriot fans and Yankee fans. Oh, and here in Florida, Florida Gator fan. Florida Gator, Miami Hurricane fan. As long as things are going good, you don't have any problem. But when things aren't going well, oh my God. I don't have any problem with the Florida Gators per se, other than I went to Florida State, go Noles. I don't have any problem with the accomplishments of the New York Yankees, although I'm a Tampa Bay Rays fan. Go Rays! I don't have any problem with the the obvious success of the New England Patriots. Go Bucks! 32-9. Did you see that? Anyway. It's Patriot fan I don't like. It's Yankee fan I don't like. It's Florida fan I don't like. Because they're obnoxious and awful. I don't have any problem with, I don't have really many problems with Donald Trump. Donald Trump needs to sit down and explain COVID to us. Donald Trump needs to sit down and explain why Anthony Fauci was running the country. I told you I was going to say some stuff that some of y'all don't like. But Donald Trump still needs to explain that. Donald Trump still needs to, if he actually believes that the 2020 election was stolen from him, what the plan is to make sure that 2024 isn't stolen. And bashing other Republicans is not telling me or anybody, frankly, how the 2024 election is not going to be stolen. If indeed he believes that the 2020 election is stolen, how he's going to keep that from happening again? Hasn't mentioned anything about that. He hasn't mentioned anything about supporting the J6 people who are still in jail. Some of them are still in jail and have been in jail for more than a year. Almost 2 years, 3 years. Haven't mentioned any support for those folks. Those are questions that are going to have to be asked and answered by Donald Trump. In my view. Now, I know that doesn't make, again, the Donald Trump fan happy. I know. But those of us who are thinking about this the least bit logically and unemotionally want the same questions answered. All that being said, if it comes down to Donald Trump and Joe Biden, of course I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Of course I am. But it doesn't negate the fact that those questions still need answering. Still. So, again, I don't understand the importance. I mean, the huge importance of this, of the Iowa caucuses, win or lose. I don't understand why they're so stinking important. I don't understand why New Hampshire is so important, other than the media tells us that it's important. Again, we could fit most of the people who live in New Hampshire in this car. At least in the back, behind the back seat. They could fit back there. So why do they get to decide? Why do they get to decide what's so important? That doesn't make any sense to me. So anyway, I am just wondering why. Now, here's something else. Now, The rest of you are going to get super pissed off at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. I thought about this last night when Nikki Haley said something completely stupid, that she was going to boycott the next debate if Donald Trump's not there. God, that is the dumbest thing that she said yet. Well, if Trump doesn't go there, I'm not going to go. Okay, fine. Which means Ron DeSantis will just have a town hall meeting, I guess, with Asia Hutchinson. I'm not sure what good that's going to do, but okay. You're going to take your platform and chop it down another level, I guess. But it seems to me that Donald Trump not participating, this is where you're going to get pissed off. So trigger warning. It seems to me that Donald Trump not participating in the Republican debates is the same strategy that Joe Biden used in 2020. Not showing up to stuff, not showing up to events, just sort of staying out of the fray, right? Hiding out in the basement, and the excuse they used was COVID, right? They didn't want huge crowds, and COVID, but they were able to hide him in the basement, right? Where he could be well handled. The problem that Trump has is that he has too many appearances in court. And showing up on a town hall meeting on CNN so he could just be Trump is not the same thing as being in a uncontrolled environment. So Trump is basically hanging out in the basement. And a lot the same way that Joe Biden hung out in the basement. Don't you think? Or do you disagree? And if you disagree, what I'm sure is that you're going to tell me about it. Because that's the vibe that I get. I get the vibe that Donald Trump is in the basement. That he only wants to be in environments that Donald Trump can control. That he doesn't want to be on the stage and have to answer the same question. Where all he gets to do, instead of answering questions directly, is insult his opponents. Which, frankly, was entertaining in 2016. And what we saw in 2016 is that act wore thin. And it's thinner than ever now. It's thinner than ever. The little Marco and all the insults. Yeah, thinner than ever. So now it's only controlled environments where it's just Donald Trump. Somehow, because he was president before, he doesn't believe that he has to ask for anybody's votes. That he has to answer the same questions. I think it's a bad strategy. But we'll see what happens. Just like last night, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers throttled the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember, the Eagles at one point were 10-1. Everybody thought that they were the best team in football at one point, including myself. I didn't see how they could be beat. They were 10-1. They were a machine. And then the wheels came off. And there's the 9-8 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who throttled them last night. Throttled them. That's why you play the game. In any case, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.